Hello everyone, welcome back to a Maya 2020 tutorial series on UV mapping. This is going to be taking our construction worker we made in a previous tutorial series and just show you guys how to UV map them using Maya 2020. Now if you want to follow along with this model, I'm not providing the model like I do in previous lessons, mainly because I have students in class that would utilize that for their homework. But you can go ahead and look into my playlist if you want to go back and model this character and then follow along, or you can just take the lessons I'm doing and apply them to your personal models. If you want to go back, my playlist is called Tutorial Maya Character Modeling Construction Worker from Team Fortress, and then there's like over 20 parts to the lesson. So if you'd like to go back and watch, enjoy. If not, then just follow along and we'll just get started here. So today what we're going to start on is actually modeling the body itself, and then we'll get into modeling, or not modeling, but UV mapping the body itself, and then we'll go back and do all of the accessories he has going on as well. So let's just go ahead and dive in. So to begin with, before we even get into how we're going to UV map this guy, we need to generate some general UVs, and then we can go ahead and refine down our UV sets. So to begin with, I always select the model and then just go to UV and automatic. That just generates some default UVs for us to work with. From here, we can then go to our UV editor, and there's multiple ways of getting there, but I usually just like using a split panel here. Let's turn off the outliner for a second. Go to panels, panel, and UV editor. And the reason why I like going this route is that I can then just tear this one off and bring it off to a side screen. It gives me a little bit better control. Of course, you can always go over onto your shelf here and you can activate it this way as well by clicking on this icon right here, in case for some reason you're having trouble with your panel sets or something to that effect. Okay, so since we're just working on the body itself, let's go ahead and isolate it. So we're just going to click on this icon right here. I'll isolate, select just the body. Okay, so these are all the individual islands. So all these bits here, these are called UV shells, or in the industry it's sometimes just called UV islands. They're the same thing. They're the components that make up all of your UVs that make up your 3D model. Inside here you'll also notice that there's more than just UV shells. There's also UVs, and of course our normal components, which are face, vertex, and edge. This isn't going to be an introductory level lesson on how to do UV mapping like my previous lessons have had. This is going to take into account that you have some general understanding on how UVs work. So some stuff I'll be going through relatively quickly, but I will explain what I'm doing as I go along. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to face mode. I'm going to select a chunk of faces that I want to be UV'd to begin with. And what I want right out the gate is going to be the face area here. I want this all to be one piece. So I'm just going to select all these faces right here. Let's go down to the neck a little bit as well, and back into the jaw. And let's actually turn on symmetry now I think about it. That will help a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn on symmetry on the object X. That will make it to where I have exactly the same thing selected on both sides. Okay, and I don't need anything over here. Don't want anything over here. Oops, I'm a little too crazy on that one. And I don't want the ears either, because the ears are going to be a little more complex. I want those to be individual. Having them be a part of the face island set will make it to where there'll be some stretching issues when it comes to texturing. Okay, so that's good. Actually, I don't want these inside pieces either, so let's just go ahead and make sure those are all removed. And down here in the ear canal, and this area right here as well. Okay, so that's good. Looks like I missed one piece as well. Let's get that one out of there. Okay, also I don't want this bit up here, and I also don't want the inside of the mouth. The inside of the mouth is going to be its own thing as well. So let's see here, starting right here, get rid of that one, that one, that one. So I'm inside the head right now, getting the inside of the mouth untextured. Okay, let's also get this one right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do now, and actually before I even go there, I do want those ones too, just because it looked kind of weird. I had part of the jaw. I want to get the rest of that in there. I'm going to use a UV tool called camera-based UV mapping. So with these faces selected, I can go to UV and camera-based, and symmetry for a moment. We're going to go to UV shell mode. Click on the new projection here. We'll just move it off to the side here. Let's go ahead and take all these bits over here and move them off to this side so they're not inside the projection area. Anytime you generate new UVs, they'll pop up in this 1x1 area. And I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but for all of you that know, but for anyone who doesn't know, your UVs you generally want to keep in this 1x1 area. Sometimes there's rules that allow you to work outside this, like if you're working with tiling, you can work outside this boundary. But generally you don't want to do anything outside this 1x1 area. Okay, let's keep on going here. There is, oh, actually, I thought for a second I might have gone a little bit too far at the nose, but that should be just fine, I think. We might end up having to pull some of this out, but let's just go ahead and unfold it and see what we got. So we're going to go to, in shell mode, we're going to go to modify and unfold, or Control U will do the same thing. Okay. Sometimes you might get a warning that says fixed non-manifold geometry. Just say yes. Sometimes they'll make it shrink down a bit. In that case, you might have to scale it back up. You might have to adjust the UVs a smidge, but it should lay it out like this, which is pretty good. This isn't perfect, but this is pretty close. Let's go ahead and check on these guys here. All right, so the textile density wise, this is all looking good. All right, so textile density, just so for those who don't know, textile density is how much texture space this is being used by a specific shell. Now, this is a lot of texture space. We're not going to be keeping this. We're going to want to have it to be something probably more about this size. And we're going to want to make sure that textile density wise that everything we make after this is sharing about the same amount of UV space. Otherwise what will end up happening is it'll be a lot of detail in one spot but not in another. So you can see on the side here we're ending up with a little bit of textile density difference where the side here has more texture information because the squares are smaller, whereas in the front the squares are getting bigger. Now we can fix this a little bit if we want to. We can go up here and say, let's see how we can fix this. I can go to edge mode and make a little bit of an adjustment by running an edge. The jawline might be a good spot, or maybe we can do it right in here. Yeah, that should be okay. We can add a cut right here. And then we can add a cut along the top. Not a whole bunch though, because if we go too far with this, what will end up happening is you'll be able to see the seam in some cases. Not always. There's like seam painting that kind of mitigates some of this, but we want to make sure that the seam doesn't cause a problem when it comes to texturing. Okay, so that should help. Let's see if that helped out the textile density. So we unfold again, and then I just hit Control U. I know you guys didn't see that happen, but that's all I did. That's the hotkey for unfold. So let's see here. Squares are still a little bit bigger in the front than the back, but they're a little bit more even, and I like that. So this is probably good enough for now. It looks like I might have one that's sewn together right here. Let's see about that one. Okay, so let's just pull this one apart, go to edge mode, and cut this one edge. Looks like I might have an extra vertex hiding in here as well. Is that what's going on? That's right here. Let's just delete that. There we go. That was creating an end gun, which is something we never really want. Okay, UVs. So also if you're moving UVs around inside here, I know you can see there's edge mode. Don't use edge mode to pull things around. The reason why is because you get both sides of the edge when you do that. Always use UV mode when it comes to moving stuff around. So I can then go, let's just do it one at a time, it looks like. We'll go like this. There we go. And if we want, we can select just this group of UVs right here and hit Control U. and that'll relax this set. So now the UVs are a little more evenly spaced, and they're no longer have that end gone in the middle like mine had. Okay, so the face is good, but there's still more of the head we need to take care of before we kind of go down to any other body parts. Let's go ahead and look at the next portion here, which I think if we go to, let's select all this and make sure that we have symmetry back on. I want to deselect these items. So right here, deselect what I just laid out so that we don't remap that part. Okay, so now the back of the head. I also don't want the ears. So the ears, like I said, are going to be their own thing. Oh, no, I don't want that. Well, actually, yeah. I don't want the neck piece. That'll be its own thing, too. Get rid of the ear here. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. And the inside the ear canal. Okay, that looks okay. Make sure that I don't have anything. Nope, that's good. That's good. All right, so go back to UV, camera based. Oh, looks like I got the mouth as well. That's okay. I can now unfold this part here. That's the back of the head. Okay, so that's good. Scale this one down. Bring it over here. Okay, let's check the textile density on this. So it looks like I can make it smaller so that these squares match up to the size of these squares. So this is pretty close. I'm okay with that. Okay, so that island's done. As you're going along with the UV editor, there's so much stuff going on when it's doing UVs that sometimes Maya crashes. So I often suggest saving a lot. So let's go ahead and just save a scene now. Save scene as. Previously I was doing the modeling phases. I'm now into UVing, so I'm going to go ahead and change what this is called from the dude modeling to the dude UV. And we'll start out with just regular and not add a number on it. Okay, so the front and back of the face is done. Now we also want to do the inside of the mouth. So that's this part right here. Let's check on X-ray and make sure we don't have anything else weird selected. I'll isolate, turn on X-ray. Yeah, looks like it's just those guys. Okay. So now I can go ahead and go to, let's put an edge down it as well, because right now it's almost a cylinder. So I'm going to put a cut down on the side here. I selected one side edge and went around the inside here. And then I'll go to cut, UV shell, and Control U. And let's see what we have here. Let's go to face mode. I just want to isolate just this part here and make sure I don't have anything weird going on the inside. So I'll exit out of my UV editor and then just go to isolate on the inside here. I just want to make sure I don't have anything funny going on. Okay, so again, we'll go to our UV editor. Okay, so this piece right here is the end piece. Let's go ahead and just add a cut down the middle. So just go to cut, UV shell, and Control U, which will unfold it. And sometimes you have to Control U twice. And then I'll add another cut here. So Shift X, Control U, and Control U. I know before it looked like it was alright. This is all one piece, but there was some areas in the middle where the UVs were being condensed down and they weren't even. So this all looks fairly evenly spaced. We don't need a lot of textile density for the inside of the mouth since there's not a whole lot of texture in there. So I'm actually going to make them smaller than the head sections would have been. And I'll hide them in between the areas that the head is over here. So let's just go ahead and put one right there. We'll take another one and we'll scale it down a smidge more and just put it right there. That's good. And then we're going to take this one here, since it's the end piece, scale that down a little bit more. That should be good. Move this one down a little bit. There we go. It's all fit the corner there. All right, so the mouth area is done. Let's unisolate this. Select it again. Isolate the whole thing. Oh, dang it! Come on. Isolate. There we go. All right. Last part of the head that was missing was the ears. So let's go ahead and just go to face mode, and we'll select this whole section here. Deselect the parts of the back here that I was getting, and then I'll deselect everything I have laid out in my space over in this area, and these are the parts that make up the ears. Okay, so I'm gonna go to UV and camera based. I know they're two different objects, but they'll come up separately like this. See? All right, so that's good. Let's go ahead and select each one individually. Turn off mirroring for now. And let's unfold this and see what we got. Okay, so looking a little weird. Let's turn off textile density as well. We don't need that on right now. That just looks like too much visual noise. Okay. I want to make a seam going down this part here around the edge of the ear. Let's do it on this edge. And we'll have it, I don't need the inside part right here. Don't need those two. Okay, so that's good. And then I want, I want to go around like this. Oh, I see. Actually, let's just have it go around this way, since that's how the UV islands already work. And I'll have this one come down here and connect right there. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and add a cut there. That'll make it to where I can now pull the back end off, unfold that part. Okay, and I can take the front side, hit Control U a couple times. That'll relax that. And this is actually perfect. I don't need to mess with that at all anymore. I'll just take these two for now and move them off, and just have to do the same thing to this side over here. So same deal. I'm just going to take this outer edge right here, and I don't need inside bits. I do want this edge right here. I'll just take this one, route it down to here where the UV island ends. Okay, so then I can go ahead and run my cut tool, go to UV shell mode, unfold each side. Okay. Okay. All right, so those are both good, and they're about the same size as well. All right, so now I just need to scale these UV islands down to where they kind of match the textile density of my head. So I'm just going to scale these guys down dramatically. So let's see here. Looks like that's pretty close. Okay, so now I can go ahead and take these guys and nestle them up inside my head area as well. Let's turn off textile density for now. And I'll put this ear, let's put it right there. I'll take this ear and I'll put it right here. Let's see if we can fit this ear piece. And I'll give this one a little less room because it's the inside of the ear is not going to have a lot of texture on it anyways. Let's rotate it, see if we can fit it in there. A little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, so that's good. This next one here, let's go ahead and find a little nice spot for it. Let's just nestle it in right over here where it actually would have been placed if it was attached. Okay, so that's good. Maybe I'll close in the space a little bit with this guy. All right, so the head's pretty much done, and we're at 20 minutes now. Let's go ahead and make sure we overlook what we have here. So like the whole head area, the ears, the inside of the mouth, that's all done. So let's go ahead and select the object, delete the history, because you can see over here in the inputs that all of our UV mapping is just building up already, so we don't want that. Let's go ahead and delete the history. That'll keep our file size small. And we're going to go ahead and save the scene. Before we go, I just want to explain what I'm doing, because you can see here's the 1x1 area where everything needs to go, where you see this green and red is. If you ever are trying to do UVs and you see that's coming out black in a different editor like Mudbox, Substance Painter, ZBrush, the reason why is because when you export, the UVs have to be in this 1x1 area, or otherwise they won't come out with anything on them. So I'm moving all these guys over here into a work area. When I generate UVs, it automatically puts them in this 1x1 area. These ones over here are laid out automatically, but I'm kind of picking what I want and then reassembling them over here with the camera base tool. So I'm going to keep all my extra puzzle pieces over here. This will be my finished product. Once the finished product is all done, then I'll move it all back into this 1x1 area. Just want to make sure you guys knew what the plan was. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all in the next lesson.